This week's parsha is the most important parsha in the entire Torah. You may ask, why is this week's parsha the most important in the entire Torah? Well, let me tell you. Parsha Toldot covers the story of Isaac, the Toldot of Isaac. We have Isaac praying for Rebekah to have children, Rebekah's prophecy about her children, the birth of Esau and Jacob, Esau selling his birthright for some stew, God's promise of the land of Israel to Isaac's kin, Isaac repeating his father's "my wife is my sister" routine, Isaac redigging all the wells of his father, and Isaac's peace treaty with the people of Gerar. But none of that is why this is the most important parsha in the entire Torah. The reason this is the most important parsha in the Torah is because it teaches us something at the core of Jewish history and Jewish destiny. The second half of the parsha is the famous story of Jacob dressing as Esau, at Rebekah's urging and tricking Isaac into blessing him. The simple reading is that Esau had convinced his father that he was the one who should carry on the family mission, but Rebekah knew better and arranged a ruse so that Jacob would receive the blessing and the right outcome would come to be. But I think that's a misreading of the entire narrative. Let's take a look at the actual blessings that Isaac gives. There are three of them. First, the blessing Isaac is tricked into giving Jacob, which was intended for Esau. Next, the blessing Isaac gives Esau after the discovery of the ruse. And finally, the blessing Isaac gives Jacob before Jacob leaves for Laban's house. The blessing given to Jacob, but intended for Esau, was the blessing of the dew of the heaven and the fats of the earth. This is the blessing of physical wealth, physical supremacy over other. The blessing Esau ends up getting is also a blessing of physical wealth, and that while he will serve his brother in the short term, eventually he will break free. Finally, the blessing given to Jacob in the end, may El Shaddai bless you, make you fertile and numerous so that you may become an assembly of people. May you and your offspring be granted the blessing of Abraham, that you may possess the land where you are sojourning, which God assigned to Abraham. Isaac intended all along to give Jacob the blessing to carry on Abraham's spiritual legacy, while Esau was supposed to get the blessing of physical wealth. From these, we can try to understand what Isaac was thinking. He knew Jacob was the one to carry on Abraham's mission, but he wanted Esau and Jacob to work together. Esau would be blessed with material wealth, and he would support Jacob, who would drive the spiritual message. This way, Jacob could keep his hands clean. Isaac didn't want sibling rivalry he had with Ishmael. He wanted his family to stay together and bring about God's blessing to Abraham. But Rebekah knew better. She knew that that could never work. If Jacob was dependent on Esau, he could never accomplish his mission. We can pinpoint the exact moment in the story where Isaac realizes his mistake. It's one of my favorite lines in the whole Torah. When Jacob comes to his father dressed in Esau's clothing, trying to convince his father that he's really Esau, Isaac responds, Hakol kol Yaakov ve'yadayim yadei Esau. The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. This is not the confused ramblings of an old man. This is Isaac realizing that he was wrong. He realizes that the person in front of him combines the voice, the spirit, the world-changing mission of Jacob with the hands, the physicality, the ability to interact with the world of Esau. Isaac didn't think one person could embody both of those traits, which is why he felt Jacob and Esau needed to work together. But now he sees these can coexist in the same person, and that person is Jacob. And that's what Judaism is about. Yes, we have a spiritual mission to be a light unto the nations, demonstrating the reality of one God, but we don't do that by separating ourselves from the world, living high atop a mountain. We need to get our hands dirty, live in the real world, the messy world, to show that our way is not some abstract theoretical way of living, but rather the light can emanate from within the world itself. Hakol kol Yaakov ve'yadayim yadei Esau. That is one reason why this is the most important parsha in the entire Torah. But the other reason is that the most important piece of Torah is whatever piece of Torah you have in front of you right now. Shabbat Shalom and Am Yisrael Chai.